Cyberpunk is a subgenre of science fiction set in a dystopian futuristic setting that tends to focus on a combination of low life and high tech. So, think of the Blade Runner films, or the Ghost in the Shell, not that one. There we go. Or more recently, the appropriately named Cyberpunk. Thanks, Keanu. Now, if I could play Cyberpunk 2077 in VR, well, you'd probably never see me again. I would live in that game. Some people are lucky enough to have a supercomputer that can run it, but not me. All I have is a standalone Quest VR, but I still really want to be fully immersed in a cyberpunk world. So I did some digging and I found 5 Quest games that bring the cyberpunk aesthetic into VR. Some managed to do this better than others, and some are still a work in progress, but all of these I have bought and played for myself, so if I had fun with them, hopefully you will too. And if this video is useful or interesting to you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now the first game, Metacity Patrol. This Cyberpunk VR game is the Blade Runner game I've always dreamed of. Almost. Okay, so at first, this looks like it's just a VR chat world, and I bought this game.
Patrol, we have a job for you to attend. Please respond.
Really? Alright, well hang on, well, there's a lot more to it. Metacity Patrol absolutely nails the aesthetic of the first Blade Runner film with its constantly rain-soaked open-world city. I love the way raindrops strip down the windshield of my futuristic flying car, which controls great by the way. It's super satisfying to weave between skyscrapers or drift into the many landing zones throughout the city. Each district has a place you can land and explore on foot, and it's here that you'll be finding evidence or hunting down bounties. These ground sections are pretty bare bones, almost like an impressionistic painting of what they should be, but I feel like this is just a placeholder for more to come soon. This definitely feels more like a demo than a full game, but if you're a fan of Blade Runner and this aesthetic, it's definitely worth trying. Plus it's only $6. I first tried Resist about a year ago when I was looking for a Spider-Man game, and it kinda disappointed me because of that. Nothing feels less like Spider-Man than having guns attached to your hands at all times, but when looking at this game through a cyberpunk-obsessed lens, it suddenly became one of the most underrated hidden gems on the Quest platform. This game has you swinging between skyscrapers while blasting away robots and taking down huge mechanical bosses. There's a story mode plus a full open world with side missions and challenges throughout. Now that I think about it, this game really does follow the Spider-Man PS4 gameplay formula, except of course everything has a futuristic high-tech aesthetic to it.
So what are these points of interest? And if you say they're interesting points, I swear to God.
Our operatives tag anything they think has value for the Resistance. We'll have to investigate them to find out more.
What is this?
This is a full-fledged game, so I think it's definitely worth the $20 it costs. Or for the price of a movie ticket, you can fully immerse yourself in the story of Deceptive Reality. Heavily inspired by the Matrix and similar cyberpunk films, the story sees you working as an edge operator at the company called Cortex, where you'll be tasked with fighting off guards and solving puzzles to progress. Fair warning, everything in this game feels a little bit janky. The character models are uncanny, the climbing isn't great, the collisions when punching are literally hit or miss, and the puzzles lack depth. But luckily, an interesting story with semi-decent writing and acting help bring this experience together as more than the sum of its parts. When it does work, the combat can feel awesome.
That was intense.
Enemies react to your punches in a way that makes fights really satisfying, and the bullet time mechanic definitely has potential. Over the course of me recording this video, they even added a sandbox mode that also has melee weapons you can try out. But this game is of course still in its alpha, so it should only improve from here. They even just released a preview of what a stealth mission could play like, and that gets me really excited for the future of this game. Brisk Square is a cyberpunk-themed endless runner, you know, like Temple Run, Subway Surfers, but in VR and you have a sword. I'm honestly not a fan of this genre of game, and you combine that with the fact that this game is super difficult, and well, it's just not for me, but I can definitely see some of you enjoying this and the challenge it presents. It does have a lot of different game modes and features, but this is also still a work in progress. But this could totally be your thing, and it's the cheapest game on this list. Real quick honorable mention, Runner is an amazing VR game in any context, but it would definitely be on this Cyberpunk list if I hadn't already talked about it at length in my VR motorcycle episode. This is the predecessor to the recently released Hellsweeper, and in my opinion, it's actually better. My aesthetic preferences aside, Sirento has amazingly fast-paced combat that focuses on mobility and bullet time to make you feel like an unstoppable cyber ninja. If you can stomach it, this game has double jumping, wall running, and front flipping. Plus, the loadout and upgrade system keeps you wanting to play the next level to unlock that awesome next weapon. Spoiler alert, there's a lightsaber you can get. Even though the graphics are pretty dated by now, luckily the color aesthetic keeps the visuals pleasing and easy to see. I delayed this video for 2 weeks so that I could include this last game, and trust me, it's been worth the wait. This is Stride Fates, a sequel to the amazing VR parkour game Stride, and it basically is the Mirror's Edge VR game I've always wanted. Easily my favorite game on this list for multiple reasons. First off, the graphics are really impressive for standalone VR. There's even an in-game camera that you can use to snap photos during levels, which you can then view back at the gallery in your base. This is where you can also upgrade weapons and select levels to go on. And while it is a little disappointing that this isn't a fully open world game, these handcrafted levels do offer a ton of replay value in the form of different routes to take or hidden upgrade parts throughout. But honestly, the satisfying mix of movement, melee, stealth, and range combat kept me hooked on Stride Fates for a lot longer than most VR games I play.
You can throw something heavy through the window. My mom insisted on a career at Sky Chase. I told her it was too nerve-wracking.
And so those are the 7 Cyberpunk VR recommendations I have for Quest 2 and 3. Let me know in the comments if you've played any of these. I'd love to know what you thought. Also, let me know if there's any I missed. For more VR recommendations, remember to like and subscribe. I'm Virtual Bro, and thanks for watching.
The Skulls must have assessed the cameras by now. Don't get caught by their beams.
Item purchased. Have a nice day.